Hello students, this is Mrs. Pancoke. We are going to work on lesson 61 today. The learning outcomes for this lesson are to create and format shapes, insert and format pictures, create a flyer, and design a flyer. So you need to know that shapes are ready-made objects such as rectangles. If we go into the Insert tab and look at the Shapes command, there are lots of different shapes to choose from. So we're going to be using this feature a lot today. In this activity, you will create a cross similar to the one illustrated at the left in the textbook. It looks like a red cross type cross. You will set the size for the shape, select the shape outline, which is the border color and width, and apply shape fill, and add text to the shape. So on a new blank document, follow the path and select the cross shape. So to get there, you're going to click on the Insert tab, go to the Shapes button, and we're going to look for the cross shape. I believe it is this one right here. Okay, so it says to draw a cross shape that is about 1 inch high by 1 inch wide. So I would say maybe about like that. Select the shape and use the size feature to edit the size. So for the height, we're going to set it to 1.1. I'm using my number keypad, by 1.5 for my width. Okay, on step 2, we're going on to page 272. It says to use the shape outline feature to select a color of your choice. So we're going to go to shape outline. Maybe I want to make it gray. Okay, you can choose any shape color though. And we're going to set the border width to 2.5 points. So we're going to go to shape outline, go to width, and we're going to choose 2 1/4 point. Says use the shape fill to choose an appropriate fill color. So maybe I want to make mine red. Okay. And if desired, use the shape effects to add formatting changes. So maybe I want to make mine glow. Maybe I'll use the yellow. Or maybe I'll add a bevel. Alright, there we have it. And it says to right click inside the shape and we're going to click on Add Text from the shortcut menu, and then we're going to key First Aid Station. Okay, in the blinking insertion point, so it should say First Aid Station. Then it says to select the text inside your shape, and we're going to choose a desired font color and change the font to 14-point Arial. So back at the Home tab, 14-point, I'm going to change it to Arial. And I can choose a color that I like. I'm just going to leave mine white because I think that looks really nice. Okay, and we're going to position the cross at the middle center of the document. So click on your cross, go to Drawing Tools Format, and we're going to position it in the middle center. Okay, it then says to go ahead and File, Save As. We're going to save our document in our Z drive under Keyboarding 8. And we're in Chapter 8, so we need to name it 61A First Aid. Save and close. Alright, Activity 2 for A, it says to open a new blank document. And we're going to access the Shapes gallery. So I'm going to move my window in here. So we need to go to Insert, Shapes once again. And we're going to select the 5-point star shape from the Stars and Banners. Okay, so that's a 7-point, 6-point. Here's our 5-point star. Okay, and it says that the star, I'm going to go ahead and draw it, but it says that it needs to be 5 inches tall by 5 inches wide. Position this shape at the middle center of the document, and then format the star as you would like. So maybe I'll change my outline to green, and I might change my weight to make it a little bit larger. Maybe my shape fill, I'll choose the yellow. And I might want to add some effects. So maybe I'll choose this green glow, and I'll make it a little bit of a bevel. And then I need to right click and click on Add Text, and inside the shape we're going to type B a star, which is really hard to read with yellow. So it says to use a font size, and font color of your choice. So we're going to highlight that text, go to the Home tab. I'm going to make it fairly large, but not too large that I don't see my text. And choose a font that you like. It can be any font. Just need to be able to still see your text. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller because it kind of... Okay, and then I'm going to change my font to a font that stands out real easily. You know what? I don't really like that font. Let's go find a different one. Oh, I like that one. Broadway. Alright, and then it says to go ahead and file, save your document as. I'm going to save it in my Chapter 8 folder as 61A star. Save. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and leave it open for now. Next, we're going to be adding in some clip art into our document. Okay, so it tells us here that there's a tip. The ratio of the width to height for a picture is called aspect ratio. By default, Word locks aspect ratio so that changing one dimension of the picture automatically changes the other a corresponding amount. So our directions tell us to go ahead and open up a new blank document. I'm on page 273. And we are going to begin by searching for internet pictures. So I need to move this back over here. So to do this, we're going to go to Insert Pictures, cancel. Oh, our online pictures are disabled. So we're going to have to do this a little bit differently. So go to Google Chrome, and we're going to look for photos of penguins. So let's go here. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and Google search for penguins. Alright, and I'm going to look for images. Okay, maybe I like this picture. So what I would do is I would right click and click Save Image As, and I want to save it into my Pictures folder. And we'll just leave the file name for now, and I'll click Save. Okay, then we can go back to our document, and we're going to click on the Insert tab, go to our pictures, and I'm going to try to find my Emperor Penguin photo. Okay, says to select the picture to display the Picture Tools Formatting tab, and then we're going to click the tab if necessary to display the commands. So make sure this is clicked. We're going to change the shape width by setting the size group to 3. Oh, maybe we'll change the width to 3. Alright, and then hit enter. Alright. So when you do that, notice that the shape height automatically changed to maintain the proper aspect ratio. The picture's position to top center, we're going to change the position to the top center. Alright, and we're going to move the picture down about 1 inch by dragging or nudging it. So I'm just going to drag it down about 1 inch. Okay. And then it says to scroll through the built-in picture styles in the Picture Styles group and choose one that you like. Okay, so we can choose any of these. You know, I want to choose one that maybe doesn't cut off my penguin's head. You know what, I kind of like this one. Or this one. We'll use that. Okay, so pick any one that you like. Just make sure that you can still see your content of your picture. And then it says to save the document as 61B penguins in your Chapter 8 folder. Okay. Next, we're going to open our data file, 61B laptops. So go to File, Open. Or if you can't, I'm going to go down here. So my Lesson 8, go to my data files. I need to find DF61B laptops. Okay, there we have it. It contains 3 pictures that are left aligned at the top, middle, and bottom. So it says to select the top left picture and do the following. So we're going to change its height to 2 inches. So I need to go to Picture Tools, Format, and change its height to 2. Just type in a 2 and hit enter. Format it using a built-in style that does not have a border. So I need to use a picture style that does not have a border. You know what? I like that one. I'm going to use that. And then position it at the top right. So I'm going to go position, top right. Then says to select the left center picture. We're going to change its width to 2 inches. Okay, 2 and then enter. Format it using the picture border and picture effects options. Okay, so I want to add a border. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger. And I might change my color, maybe to match the color of the screen there. And we're going to add a picture effects. Maybe we'll add a bevel to it. There we go. And then it says to position it at the bottom right. Okay, so I'm moving that one. Step 3, or sorry, let's see, did I skip a page here? Step 4, says to select the bottom left picture and format it and size it as you choose. So, maybe you can make it really big. Okay, and maybe I want to add a picture style with a you know what, maybe I'll choose that. No, that looks weird. Let's choose that one. And we're going to position it in the middle. There we have it. Middle center, and then it says to save the document as 61B laptops in your Chapter 8 folder. Laptops. Okay, enter, save and close. Okay, we're on to 61C. It says to open a new blank document. Blank document, move my item in there, okay. Now, we're going to create a new blank document, a flyer that will fit attractively on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, which is just a regular size paper. It says to insert DF61C picture into the document at the top center. So we're going to go to Insert, Picture, but this time we're going to go to our data files. So we need to go to Data Files and we're going to find 61C picture. There we have it. Alright, election results. And we're going to position it at the top center. And we're going to size it as we see fit. So maybe, you want it 4.5 as a size. Okay. Alright, next it says to key. So I'm going to double click below the picture. And I'm going to key in WMS, Student Government. As word art below the picture. So I'm going to highlight it and then go to Insert Word Art. And, I really like this one, so I'm going to use that. It says to size and format the word art appropriately. So, you know what? I do want this to be aligned center. And maybe for my text fill, maybe I'm going to choose this gradient option. It's kind of cool. Okay. Next, it says to insert a text box to hold the following information and format the text in the text box appropriately. So below that, I'm going to go to Insert, Text Box. I'm just going to click on Simple Text Box. Okay, and we're going to type in the information. So President, Kim Chung, Vice President, Tess O'Malley, Secretary, Tom, Treasurer, Gloria Perez, and Historian, Marcy Kelleran. Now, what I would want to do is I would want to align my text to the middle, and I would want to center it. And it says, maybe we want to, format it, maybe add some color to our text. Okay, maybe the border, we want to change it to, maybe I'll change the border to orange and I'll add a thicker weight. Okay, and let's see. And you know what? I don't like where it is right now, so I'm going to move it down a little bit. There we go. And I think that looks pretty good. Maybe, maybe you want to add a shape effects. I kind of like this glow feature. There we have it. Okay, so select and insert a shape and key thanks to all who voted. So down here, maybe I'm just going to double click down below the text box and I'm going to go to insert shapes. Oops, cancel. Shapes, and we want to find something that kind of relates to voting. Let's see, is there a check mark anywhere in here? Maybe I'll put this kapow one, this explosion. Okay, and we're going to key into it. Say thanks to all who voted. And we're going to format it appropriately. So maybe I'm going to use this green. Maybe for my outline I'm going to use the orange again. Maybe I'll make it a little bit thicker. And let's add a shape effect. Glow. Let's also add a bevel. And we need to change our font to make it stand out a little bit bigger. Let's go back to the Home tab. I'm just going to use the increase font size, and we'll use Arial. There we have it. Alright, so for that you can kind of choose and make it any of the colors that you would like. Make and position and size adjustments to arrange the information attractively on the picture. So we want it to look nice. And we're going to save this flyer as 61C flyer. Okay, so for the next part of this lesson, you are going to be on your own designing a flyer about our Keyboarding 8 class to tell others about the value of this class. You're going to review the guidelines on page 269 for creating flyers. Include some of the following points in your flyer. And you need to add word art, pictures, other graphics to make the flyer attractive. To do this, you get to work with another student as a partner. So good luck, and I hope you all have a great day.